G'day and welcome to this week's Aviation News Roundup. A little known fact about commercial aviation is the use of anti-missile defense systems on aircraft. This system, known as Flight Guard, was developed by Israel in 2004, costing up to $1 million US to install per aircraft. The system works via a Doppler radar system with 360-degree cameras that release an invisible flare. These flares cause a tracking missile to be confused and diverts the missile away from the aircraft. Having successfully tested Flight Guard, El Al has already implemented the system on their so-called sensitive routes. Now, this seems odd and quite extreme measure by the airline. However, as an industry, the airline industry works by learning from past incidents. Flight Guard does also. This system was evoked by the near downing of Arkia Airlines 757 in 2002 above Mombasa, Kenya. Bound for Tel Aviv, upon rotating, the 757 saw two shoulder-launched missiles approach and just miss the aircraft. The Israeli government was quick to respond, and within 2 years developed the Flight Guard system and implemented this system on commercial aircraft. This technology has not yet been implemented on non-Israeli aircraft. However, after the downing of MH17 and a Ukrainian 737 passenger aircraft, could we see Flight Guard or a similar system be compulsory on all commercial passenger aircraft? Now to Hong Kong-based airline Cathay Pacific, of whom released their traffic figures for the month of November 2020. From the report, Cathay Pacific flew 37,000 passengers, which is 98.6% down on the same time the previous year. The airline's Chief Customer and Commercial Officer Ronald Lam stated that it is predicted that the January 2021 period should be 10% up on previous passenger movements. This is a positive trend for the airline as it attempts to climb out of a hole it has dug itself during COVID-19. Now, just what this hole that Cathay Pacific finds itself in is not just a financial loss, but also a loss of its subsidiary airline Cathay Dragon. Cathay Dragon, initially acquired from Dragonair, had a fleet of A320s, A330s, 737s and 747s. After being acquired by Cathay Pacific in 2006, Cathay Dragon's business model incorporated operating as a low-cost budget airline from Hong Kong. This included a fleet overhaul operating just the A330, with an order of 16 A321neo aircraft made in an attempt to reach broader markets within the narrow-body aircraft range. However, due to the COVID-19 economic impact and loss of profit, Cathay Pacific decided to merge Cathay Dragon's A330 aircraft into its own fleet. This move saw an end to a 35-year operation by this subsidiary airline. Finally, to the weird and expensive world of acquiring airport slots. Now, just what are airport slots and how do they work? Slots can be described as the permission granted to an airline to operate to a specific airport. The slots can be split into a pair of takeoff and landing slots, which are highly valuable and tradable. This cost can vary on a set of 6 criteria, which incorporate airport busyness, economic environment, time of day, turnaround time, and a seasonal factor. The price range at major airports can reach up to $27 million US for a slot. The reason for acquiring these desirable slots is that customers prefer to travel at times that are not early morning and not midnight. These slots are usually lower price, however, could mean that less passengers book on that particular flight. Peak time travel such as breakfast and early evening are highly booked by passengers. Hence, airlines buy, sell and auction these slots at high prices, and it is almost guaranteed that the flight will have the maximum number of passengers for that time. It is clear that the market for takeoff and landing slot pairs is extremely competitive and expensive to operate as an airline business within. Now, it's that time of the show for the qualifying lap news. Boeing looks to thermal disinfection to protect pilots from spreading COVID-19 in the cockpit. New Zealand and Australia create an exclusive travel bubble. A man was arrested at Las Vegas International after climbing on the wing of an Alaskan Airlines Flight 737. Virgin Atlantic began flying to Islamabad, Pakistan this week from Manchester for the first time. And the UK Supreme Court approved London Heathrow's request for a third runway to be constructed. Thanks for listening to this week's Aviation News Roundup. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for next week's video.